Imagine something so enormous that it seems impossible to move. And make yourselves comfortable, because today we bring you a compilation of the largest transportation operations that will make you realize that anything can reach anywhere. Enjoy! Have you ever seen these gigantic wind turbines and wondered how the blades are transported? Look at these 770 horsepower Scania V trucks. Together with 20 meters trailers and the driver's amazing skill, they transport 250 meters long blades directly from the ship to the wind farms in Curacao. With such an enormous load, they have to cut traffic 90% of the time. And that doesn't take away from the fact that navigating roundabouts and narrow suburban roads is a headache. To transport this 45 meters reactor of gigantic proportions, the local authorities had to turn to a company with 40 years of experience in heavy transport in India, one of the main contributors to the country's industrial development. The team built an entire Dock 2 motor barge equipped with the region's largest 14-axle flat platform, which was then towed by a powerful Volvo truck that looked like a toy car next to its colossal load. Meet at 94, the Space Shuttle's external fuel tank. Yes, it's the orbiter pod that falls about 113 kilometers after liftoff. But before it can do so and plummet to the ground, it first has to be transported to the launch pad. This happens at a very slow pace with the help of a specialized tug. Two rolling platforms with dimensions of 46 meters in length, 86 meters in diameter, and $1 of 26 tons. Maneuvering it around corners is no easy task. That day, many drivers were fortunate to witness the transport of two 50 meters long concrete sections of a road bridge, each weighing 350 tons. But only here can you see the full extent of the work done by the drivers of the trucks that transport these special platforms from start to finish. Observe how they navigate intersections, sharp turns, and close highways to complete this massive transport operation without incidents, delivering their impressive load to the site. And let's not forget that the truck and trailer together were 5 times longer than a normal long-distance truck. So precise route planning was essential for every meter and every turn. Check out this amazing logistic operation to move a 100-ton Caterpillar 777 mining truck from a newly finished site to a warehouse for the driver of this 540 horsepower MAN truck. The challenging journey lasted 28 hours and covered almost 400 kilometers. But that's not all. To load the dumper, he first had to remove the front wheels, each weighing up to 5 tons, to slightly reduce its dimensions. Moving a massive vehicle like the Caterpillar 777 requires special care, especially on public roads, bridges, and tunnels. It seems crazy to say why assemble a pedestrian bridge on site when you can deliver everything in one piece, until you have a team of professionals capable of transporting a 40-ton, 34-meter-long structure from Burnett to Edinburgh. Sure, the MAN truck can handle such a huge load, but the real challenge is the bridge's length, equal to a 12-story building. Maneuvering it through the narrow suburban streets of the Netherlands requires top-notch logistics. Luckily, the team blocked the roads early, making the driver's job easier and avoiding traffic jams. At one point, the driver even had to reverse on a tricky curve. Applause for teamwork and planning. Most of the spectators of this incredible transportation operation had never even seen a submarine in the water, let alone a 350-ton German U-boat from World War II, navigating through the streets from the city on its way to a local museum. Naturally, you might wonder what could support such an enormous load. This platform, 27 meters long and 3 meters wide, consisted of 3 connected sections, each equipped with 6 axles, 8 wheels per axle. It was towed by a MAN truck, whose power and reliability made this extraordinary journey possible. Trains are a great tool for transporting cargo, but what if the train itself is the cargo? In this case, a wagon had to be transported from a station in Recommet to Toulon, where it would serve as decoration for a recently renovated residential area. Naturally, the workers loaded the 60-ton, 22-meter-long wagon with a Liebherr LTM 1090 mobile crane. From there, a Mercedes-Benz RX truck with a 5-mobile Multimax trailer completed the 33 kilometers journey without any issues. Logically, you might wonder, but how can a single truck tow such a huge structure? Look closely and you'll see 4 other identical tractors hitched up, pushing this transport construction from behind. This level of preparation and performance is impressive, especially considering that this coordinated team effort took several days, during which each member had to maintain maximum concentration every second throughout the entire journey. Renting a new house when moving from one city to another is child's play. Real men build houses they can literally take with them. This 2-story residential house of 160 meters squared is an excellent example of how careful calculations can help a relatively inexperienced team carry out a huge operation, even on a dirt road. Despite this, the structure and concrete foundations of the house withstood not only the load but also the transport and unloading onto new foundations. Let's imagine the engineering needed to transport a 172-ton drum to a sugar factory in the Czech Republic. Here's how it was done. The tank was dismantled into 3 equal parts, unloaded from the ship onto transport platforms, secured with cables, and towed through the city streets. To top it off, electrical lines had to be raised along the route to allow the passage of the 30 meters high load. The coordination necessary for this operation was extraordinary. If you thought transporting a dump truck was exciting, wait to see a 181-ton, 31 meters long, 7 meters wide electrical substation transported 1,500 kilometers through urban areas. This electrical equipment is designed to be transportable, but due to its immense weight, it could only travel at 5 kph. Despite the slowness, the team had to make periodic stops to inspect the load, check all the fastenings, and carefully measure the distances to obstacles such as traffic signs, curbs, and even bridges. How long do you think this delivery took? Tell us in the comments. The demethanizer column is the largest piece of any gas processing plant. The workers of this important transportation operation spent an entire day moving it from a cargo ship to a flatbed truck composed of 2 movable pieces, followed by another half day carefully securing it and obtaining permission to continue. But that was just the beginning. The most difficult part was transporting the load, which was 75 meters long, 12 meters in diameter, and weighed 1,176 tons. Over more than 300 kilometers from the industrial port of Whale to the gas plant in Amania. This type of transportation is absolutely vital for the development of Saudi Arabia's gas industry. This yacht received hundreds of admiring glances at the boat show in Germany. But now the time has come for it to return to the Bio-Re and once again bring joy to its owner. One could argue that such a yacht deserved a more professional tow than that of this caveat man, but it seems that the entire budget went to the port crane, undoubtedly the only reliable option for a safe launch. These 2 new Caterpillar 700 mining trucks are already on their way to start working in a local quarry. Take a look at how these 65-ton trucks are transported on the roads. First, by removing the wheels to reduce its size, and as the team stops to take precise measurements of the load before passing through tunnels, under bridges, or other obstacles. Now that everything is in place, all that's left is to reinstall the wheels. But here's the trick. Without a hydraulic manipulator, it's almost impossible, as each wheel weighs several tons. If you thought your deliveries were expensive, try transporting this 58-meter luxury yacht called Pink Shadow. It is the first Sea Explorer yacht built at a shipyard in Antalya, Turkey, for expeditions around the world. With an approximate range of 5,000 nautical miles, it has 6 cabins with capacity for 2 guests, a crew of 15 people. But don't worry about the owner's pocket. Given the price of the yacht, the cost of transportation on such a large scale is hardly a small problem. The preparation for this transport took a whole month, and it's no wonder, considering it involved moving a Czech government plane 50 meters in length. Not a single step in this chain of operations could afford an error. To safely load the plane onto a transport platform, 2 mobile cranes and a team of dozens of specialists were needed. But that was just the beginning. The journey to its destination in Liptovsky Mikulas involved maneuvering through tight curves, passing under several bridges, and even overcoming curves at roundabouts. This narrow-gauge locomotive 2463 has been transporting tons of wood to the sawmill in this region for decades. One might think that the shaky tracks would cause the entire load to spill at any moment, but the engineer is a true professional. This is the only railway line available for transporting timber here, and over the years, he has mastered the art of safely navigating these challenging routes. If you find it as difficult as I do to understand how these enormous metal planes can fly, get ready to be amazed. This C-17 Glowmaster III of the U.S. Air Force, powered by 4F turbofan engines. It is capable of transporting a complete 57-ton, 3.65-meter wide combat vehicle across continents. It may not be a super yacht, but we couldn't resist showing you the journey of an 85-ton, 34-meter Zulora boat that traveled 200 kilometers from Ternat-Laban to the village of Posolavsky for reconstruction and repair. The journey took 3 days. It involved navigating through narrow dry streets, maneuvering around trees and traffic lights, and even temporarily dismantling traffic signs to clear the way. With a height of 5-6 meters, the ship even had to pass under bridges. The stakes are high, as this is the heaviest and most ambitious transport operation on the list. A 300-ton transformer. To achieve this, the team used 3 trucks, a huge platform, and hundreds of specialists. And yes, today you also learned how resilient the Fuentesinos are, since this 300-ton generator was just the weight of the carcass, not including the platform and the trucks themselves. Impressive, right? No one disputes that container ships are the kings of waterborne transport operations. According to the model, its load capacity ranges from 15,000 to 40,000 tons, with route covering thousands of kilometers. See the ultimate nightmare for any trucker transporting oversized loads getting stuck in rain-soaked and softened terrain. The driver had no choice but to take this difficult route, as the multi-ton equipment was crucial for a construction company working in this mountainous area. Fortunately, another large vehicle was nearby to tow the truck. I bet you've never seen the world's largest bridge construction truck transporting an entire 30 meters long section of a highway bridge. This transformer is much smaller than the previous one, only 45 tons. But don't skip it. The transport becomes much more dramatic as soon as the paved road ends. Once the truck reaches the dirt road and starts climbing steep hills, it has to rely on 5 excavators to literally pull the enormous load uphill and get it off the ship. And no, you're not seeing things. Those excavators are doing all the heavy lifting. They are the remains of sugarcane. Once the juice is extracted, they are usually used as biofuel or to make paper. At first glance, The loading process seems to defy all the laws of physics. You would say it's impossible. And then you remember that it still has to be transported hundreds of kilometers. But don't worry, these workers know exactly what they're doing. Imagine the level of expertise the driver of this Scania truck must have to make a 90-degree turn at high speed with an 8-axle trailer carrying a 24-ton Doosan DX260 LCA excavator as cargo. But this is just the beginning. It's not a truck show from the Netherlands, but a real transportation operation with heavy machinery. You might wonder why this house was lifted at such an angle. Well, then you remember what today's topic was and everything makes sense. One thing is for sure. If more people knew how easy it is to transport houses like this overnight, more new neighbors would appear on empty lots. You'd need to be a true professional to identify what type of tank this delivery team transports. But it would take even more skill to create and execute a plan to move such a massive load along a route with obstacles like this bridge. You've probably seen trains transporting trucks on flatbeds, but have you ever seen exactly the opposite? No need to answer. I know you haven't. Until now. Transporting loads such as this 72-ton dump truck is one of the few occasions when a truck driver feels like they are not driving the most powerful S-model from Scania. Instead, it feels more like they are driving a Mini Cooper. You may not know what a surface condenser is, but one thing is certain. You have to see how it is transported on public roads. Seeing this 260-ton, 8.5 meters tall giant pass under bridges and roundabouts is enough to take your breath away. No, it's not a recreational vehicle, but a 5-story structure with a command bridge on top. And you're watching how they're transporting it right now. In the end, it will be moved to the deck of a ship using several winches. Don't even ask how much it weighs. I don't think we're emotionally prepared for these figures. If you're wondering what it takes to transport a 66-ton tanker truck over 250 kilometers, here's the answer. 3 days. A barge, 2 port cranes, 1 skilled truck driver who managed to navigate all the urban obstacles with this 50 meters giant in tow. Loading a 125-ton Lever 984 excavator onto a transport platform without a crane may seem impossible until you see this operation in action. And just when you think the hardest part is over, the team reaches a railway bridge, forcing the excavator to unload, pass under the bridge, and return to the platform. When you see this tank being transported, it's hard to believe such a large load can be moved. And considering that the route includes a saw, sharp turns, and uneven terrain, you really start to appreciate the skill required to carry out such an operation. You might think transporting cars isn't a big operation, but what if 26 are lined up in 2 rows on 1 trailer? Don't bother answering this rhetorical question. Did you know that the tower of a wind turbine is made up of several sections that are transported to the assembly site on Scania trucks? Here you have a Lever LT 1080 crane, without which not even a section would move. And now watch a truly fascinating time-lapse in which a 7 million pound barge is launched into the water, a process that involved more than 100 people. I'm absolutely sure you didn't know unclosed trailers of this size existed. And it's no wonder, because something so large usually moves at night, when the roads are as empty as possible. Thanks to this transportation operation, a train made up of several cars managed to travel on routes that were never designed for it. Imagine the surprise of local drivers seeing a train pass through a crossing or under a bridge. With the development of renewable energies, it is becoming increasingly common to transport wind turbine blades like these. But seeing how it's done remains fascinating. It's hard for the average citizen to believe that a 50-meter-long blade can be transported on ordinary roads. Once the horizontal transport is completed, the vertical phase begins, in which a crane lifts the 7-ton blade to heights of up to 200 meters. Well, it seems that all the goods have been delivered for today. But don't worry, you can always subscribe to the channel to not miss more content about the largest transportation operations around the world. See you.